Welcome into Believe Me right here on Stadium TV. My name is Cam Rodgers. So great to be with you here. I'm alongside Brandon Lang of BrandonLang.com, legendary handicapper, and it's basically a birthday for Clay Harbor. It's NFL Draft Day as of this recording, of course. Clay, former NFL tight end, fourth round selection back in the day. Well, not really, Clay. You're a young guy. What's going on, guys?
It's great. I'm great, man. NFL Draft Day, baby. Let's go. You know, this is like Christmas to me. I remember back in 2009 when I got drafted in the fourth round by the Philadelphia Eagles. Andy Reid. Hello, is this Clay Harbor? Yes. How do you feel about being drafted to the Philadelphia Eagles? I'd love to. All right, we're going to take you here in the fourth. All right, thanks, Coach Reid. It's a beautiful day for the players. It's a fun day for the media. It's a great day for the coaches. I love Draft Day, B. Lang. I don't know about you.
It's literally, we really thought the Ohio State kid was going number one. And evidently word got out that there's a test you take, and Clay, you can allude to this, where it's not the Wonderlic, but it's another test they give where it determines how fast you can make decisions. And he failed miserably. And that has spooked teams. And now it looks like our boy Bryce Young's going number one, man. So it'll be interesting to see how it falls out. And the kid from Kentucky's moved up, and it's going to be crazy. I mean, you know, again, all the prognosticators have come out, the Mel Kipers, and they've all got what's going on. I always think it's great. The first round's great. After that, it's like, you know, who cares? But kind of in that first round, first 10 picks, I think it's going to be exciting to watch.
Guys, excited to be on with you. We have a lot of ground to cover. We are talking general NFL storylines for the most part. We've got a game to pick in the NBA for Saturday as well. We will start with the story of the beginning of the week. Aaron Rodgers traded to the Jets. Finally, we've got some changes in Super Bowl odds, but not really like a big jump, guys, because everybody knew that Aaron Rodgers was going to be traded to the Jets. So there was some movement, not a big move, 14-1 to now 12-1 in terms of Super Bowl odds for the Jets. Only the Chiefs, Eagles, 49ers, Bills, and Bengals have shorter odds right now. Clay, what do you think about this number? 12-1. Is this market overreaction with Aaron Rodgers, or are they big-time Super Bowl contenders?
I don't think it's overreaction, believe it or not. I mean, if you saw the quarterbacks, Mike White, Zach Wilson, Joe Flacco, 1 foot in the grave. This guy's 100 years old. He's older than B. Lang is. He's out there playing quarterback for the Jets, man. They finally got a decent quarterback. I know Rodgers is a spring chicken. But Rodgers still had a 90-plus rating with a broken thumb. He had 26 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. The Jets quarterbacks last year, 15 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, a 75 rating. If you just had someone that could complete a screen pass, this team would have made the playoffs. Now you got Aaron Rodgers, one of the best quarterbacks, got a chip on his shoulder. Come on, I think this team is probably the favorite to win the division, and we're going to talk about that later, but I don't think it's an overreaction. This team, this defense, you give Rodgers Garrett Wilson, he had no weapons last year either. I think this is legit. I think they have a chance.
You buying this, Brandon?
Already have. Got 5,000 on it to win 60. I'm a big believer in history. History has a way of repeating itself. No one would have ever thought that when Tom Brady went from New England to Tampa Bay, that they would win that Super Bowl his first year. Now look at that Tampa Bay team that he was going to. Jameis Winston threw like 29 touchdowns, but like 29 interceptions. I believe they were 7-11 or 6-12, whatever it was, or whatever. They of their 9 or 10 losses, they led in the fourth quarter in like 7 of them, and Jameis literally just threw the games away. So the similarities of the Jets and that Tampa Bay team are unbelievable. Tampa had an ungodly defense, as does the Jets. The Jets have offensive weapons in place for Rodgers to step right in and not miss a beat. Bad quarterback play by Winston and Tampa Bay. Horrible quarterback play by Flacco, White. Although White was good until he got hurt, but the kid out of BYU, Wilson, was garbage. Horrible pick. He's probably run his dad's car wash back in Provo. So the similarities are so alike. I'm going all in. I just, why not? Brady did it with Tampa. Why can't Rodgers do it with the Jets? Now, the road's a little bit tougher. Chiefs, Cincy, Buffalo. It's not going to be easy. But they're in a division. I'm not sold on Buffalo. I'm sorry. I'm not sold on their coach. I'm not sold on Leslie Frazier. I'm just not. Sean McDermott does not impress me. They implode every year in the playoffs. I'm all in. I drank the Tom Brady Kool-Aid. I said they would win their division. I didn't call for them to win the NFC, and I'm pissed I didn't bet them on the Super Bowl. Not going to make that same mistake twice. So why not just toss $5,000 and say, you know what? It's there. It's done. Who knows?
Just a few units for Brandon Lang there on the Jets winning the Super Bowl. Clay, to Zach Wilson, if I may, if you're in Zach Wilson's shoes, what are you thinking? Obviously, this is probably the end as far as being the franchise quarterback of the Jets.
He's going to make this guy's life a living hell every day at practice. Do you remember that quote when he said, whatever veteran they bring in, it's a popular quote that he said. But yeah, Zach Wilson, he's going to be a backup. He's going to have to wait to get an opportunity to step in. He's going to have to do what many backups has, and Aaron Rodgers is getting older. He's probably going to have a game or two where he's going to be able to step in and play. He's got to be prepared, and he's got to show that, hey, when the time is right, I can do this and create some value for himself, and now they can trade him, or then they can even hold on to him whenever Rodgers is there. But whenever he gets his opportunity, he's going to have to show it. And, to agree with B. Lang here, they got some weapons. Breece Hall, Alan Lazard, C.J. Uzomah, Tyler Conklin. They just got Garrett Wilson, the offensive rookie of the year, Mecole Hardman. He's got some weapons. Rodgers has some weapons to throw to. I'm really interested. I'm just glad he's gone from the NFC North. As a Bears fan, I cover the Bears.
Right.
Get this guy out of here. So I'm glad to see it. I think B. Lang's right. I think we both agree that the Jets are legit.
And two things that you have to start with, and let's see if you agree. The Jets offensive line and the Jets defensive line are rock solid. There's no weakness in the trenches. So to work off that base and go from there.
Best lines in the league, yeah.
The pieces are there. All Rodgers has to go and do exactly what Brady did, not turn the ball over, move the offense, and we could have history repeating itself.
All right, guys, let's quickly go to the AFC East here, and it's pretty clear where you guys are going to land in terms of the eventual winner. The Jets are actually second in the odds, plus 220. The Bills are the favorites, plus 140. Dolphins 3-1. Patriots 7-1. Let me just pose these numbers to you guys. Is Rodgers even that good anymore? Look at 2022. Pass yards career, third worst. Pass yards per attempt, second worst in his career. Touchdowns, tied for fourth worst. INTs, second worst. Passer rating, the worst of his career. Brandon, do those numbers scare you at all, or do you think Rodgers is going to mold into this kind of game manager-esque quarterback?
Girl takes a job at a strip bar. And her breasts are kind of small. So she goes and gets her breasts done. And then she goes into the strip bar and she makes mad cash money. That maybe she was a 32B and she went to 36 double Ds and it was game over. The pieces that Rodgers had to work with in Green Bay last year were 32Bs, boys. That's it. He's going to the Jets. He's upgraded to 36 double D, and it's going to be a whole different ball game. It's amazing when you have something to work with. And remember, what happened to his offensive coordinator at Green Bay? He was gone. He was without a guy who had been with for years. Guess what? That guy's back. And although that guy can't coach his way out of a paper bag as a head coach, there's no debate how good he is as an offensive coordinator. They're reunited. The pieces are there. I think he's due for a bounce back year.
Yeah, I'm with you, Bing Lang. I'm with Bing Lang here. I played with, some of these guys here, and, I think that he's due for a bounce back year. Obviously in 2021, 37 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. In 2020, 48 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and he had a 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. He doesn't have to be Aaron Rodgers of the past this year, though. He doesn't have to be the Superman. He has a better team, better O-line, better defense, better receivers, and a great running back. And like you said, Nate Hackett used to coach me. He's a great coach. Nate Hackett, he's used to the system. He knows how to run the system. He's got better players around him. He doesn't have to be that old Aaron Rodgers. He has to be better than the trash they were putting on the field last year. I don't want to call these guys trash. I respect all NFL football players. But he just has to not turn the ball over, manage the game, and they will be a contender this year.
Well, I will say this. The AFC East is going to be uber competitive. The Dolphins are going to be no slouch, and the Bills obviously are the Bills. The Patriots can be scrappy, so we'll see what happens there. Good stuff, guys. Good arguments for the Jets. Let's go to the Packers because they now have to make the move to the next quarterback. We've got Jordan Love's season in Green Bay. Clay, your thoughts on Love coming out of Utah State #1, and can he be the guy for the Packers? He's got big shoes to fill.
So I like Jordan Love. I didn't think he was a superstar coming out. And a couple of years back, I remember talking to a couple of my buddies on the team, and that's when Aaron Rodgers wasn't at training camp, and Jordan Love was having to play and take a lot of the snaps. And they said, this guy doesn't have it. He's a guy he just doesn't seem like he's had it. He's improved since then. That was a couple of years ago. I'm still a little bit skeptical. And they really don't got that many weapons around him. I mean, look at their tight end, Josiah DeGara. I don't even know who this guy is. Have you guys ever heard of this dude? I mean, Tyler Davis. Obviously, Christian Watson came on late. He's not a #1 receiver, in my opinion. Romeo Dobbs, okay. Sammy Torr. I mean, these guys, they're not putting weapons around him. Maybe they draft Jackson Smith and Jigba, which has been mocked in several cases. But I think Love will be okay. His first year of action, I think he can be decent. But he doesn't have great weapons around himself. If Aaron Rodgers throwing 26 touchdowns and 12 picks, I don't think Jordan Love's going to come in and do better than that. So I'm curious to see what happens, but I'm probably selling Jordan Love stepping in and being a superstar.
Is he the answer, Brandon?
Let's keep it in the same terms, Alex, I'll stay with strip bar themes for 500. You're working the graveyard shift at Little Darling's Christmas Eve. That's basically the Packers season, guys. They're in for a long year, and I think that they know they're in for a long year by letting Rodgers go. Love will have his moments, but there are going to be growing pains throughout the entire year. I've already bet the Lions to win that division. I got the Lions in the playoffs. They're the team to beat in that division this year. I'm so high on the Lions. Long rebuilding year for the Packers, and rightly so when you lose a franchise quarterback like Aaron Rodgers.
Well, guys, let's quickly play a game of over and under. Total touchdown passes for Jordan Love in 2023. These odds from BetOnline, 22.5 total touchdown passes. Clay, over or under? I like the under there.
I like the over. I'm not saying he's going to have a ton, but 22.5. Like, if this guy's a starting quarterback for 17 games, like, come on, he's going to go over that. I could probably go out there and do that, B-Lang. I don't know. No, I'm going to take the over there. I think he can still throw, but I'm not saying he's going to translate into wins. I think that he's got the over there.
17 games. That's, one a game, 17, 2 here. Wow, great number, man. I agree with you, Clay. If he stays healthy and plays all 17 games, I agree he gets over because I don't think they're going to have a running game and he's going to have to throw the football. I just have this sneaky suspicion that he doesn't play all 17 games, whether it's injury or he gets benched. I just think they're in for a long year. And his first full year of running the offense, I just don't know if he plays all 17 games. So I'm going to go under just because I don't think that he plays all 17 games.
It's possible he gets benched, too, if he's so bad during the regular season. You guys might like this number better. For the record, Rodgers threw 12 interceptions last year, the number 13.5. If he plays all 17 games, I think he hits the over there. What do you say, Clay?
Yeah, I'm taking the over. I'm taking the over on both. I think it's going to be a high-volume offense. They're going to have to throw the ball up. They're going to try to begin to Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs. Obviously, they still have Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, but I don't think that O-line is set up to really be road graders there in the run game. So I'm taking the over in both.
Brandon?
Agreed. Great call there. First full year under center, you're going to make mistakes. Think about it. Jameis Winston was a veteran. I'm talking a veteran. The brother threw 29 interceptions in 1 year. 29.
Gunslinger.
29, Jameis. Stick with them crab legs from Publix when you in college and get your little free crab legs. Come on, Jameis. Over the total.
I'm over as well, guys. I like that. We'll see what happens. Jets and Packers, a lot of storylines coming up this NFL season. Let's talk about a report now from one Dan Patrick, guys. This surfaced earlier this week. The 49ers explored a Lamar Jackson trade. The 49ers' current Super Bowl 58 odds, plus 950. You would think there's some serious movement there if they acquire Lamar Jackson. Clay, we go to you first here. Lamar Jackson trade to the 49ers. If that happens, Super Bowl favorites?
No. Lamar Jackson in the playoffs has a 68 passer rating. He has 3 touchdowns and 6 interceptions in 4 career games. This guy's won 1 playoff game, and people, I like Lamar. I think Lamar's a good player. I don't think that he is as good as a lot of people are making him out to be in pressure situations. And you act like the 49ers obviously didn't have a great quarterback, but Brock Purdy came in. He threw 13 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. The guy, all he did was win a 65 QBR. The guy, if he doesn't get knocked out of the playoff game, I think they have a chance to beat the Eagles. Obviously, they weren't beating him at the time, but I think they have a chance to come back. I think Purdy, if everything goes well with his surgery in his arm, he comes back. He gives them just as good as a shot to win a Super Bowl as Lamar Jackson. You saw he was able to keep them perfect because he wasn't turning the ball over. He can throw the ball. First year out of Iowa State. Brock Purdy, man, let's go.
Well, will he be healthy for game 1? That's the real question, Brandon.
That's the question.
Lamar Jackson goes to the San Francisco 49ers. They are going to the Super Bowl. You heard it here first. 2 reasons. 1, the head coach, offensive mastermind. To Clay's point, look what he did to the last player drafted in the NFL draft. Just inserted him into the system, asked him to do certain things. Look at the talent around him. Bada bang, bada boom. Take Purdy out. Let's insert Lamar. Let's coach Lamar up. Let's give Lamar the weapons that we have, the running game we have, Kittle over the middle, the receivers they have, the defense they have. It's the same thing as Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets. Lamar didn't have the weapons on the outside in Baltimore that he does in San Francisco. Thus, he's not going to be asked to do as much in San Francisco as he has in Baltimore. By asking him to do as much as you asked him to do in Baltimore, there were the turnovers, there were the forced throws, there were the forced this. So I think with Shanahan and his system, I think Lamar progresses. I think he digressed in Baltimore because they asked him to do too much. They really did. I think in San Francisco, they're not going to ask him to do that much. I'm sold on Shanahan that if he could do that with Brock Purdy, he can do something even better with Lamar. I might be wrong, but I trust Shanahan in this situation more than anything else.
Makes sense.
Could be 49ers versus Jets Super Bowl. That would be weird, needless to say, guys. We'll see what happens going forward. Okay, Brandon, open up the crystal ball here, if you will. Who will end up having the best NFL draft of the weekend? All right, we're talking about the Raiders and the Texans with the most draft picks at 12. Dolphins, Ravens, Broncos, Vikings, Jets have 4 or 5 apiece. What do you think?
Raiders. I think the Raiders are going to have a massive draft with Garoppolo putting together the pieces that they already have in place. I think the Raiders in position to do great things. Let's not forget, Tampa Bay played the Super Bowl in their hometown. Super Bowl's in Vegas, baby. Come on, Raiders. Come on, Raiders. I'm all in on the Raiders.
What do you think, Clay?
You got the Houston Texans. I mean, you got the second pick in the draft. You're going to have your pick. You can take C.J. Stroud, but I think they take Will Anderson. The crazy thing about this draft is I think they get their quarterback at 12. I think Anthony Richardson or C.J. Stroud can fall to 12. Obviously, we thought Stroud was going 1. Now there's no landing spot in sight because they don't seem like they're taking a quarterback before then. So I'm thinking you get the 33rd pick as well. The second pick in the second round. So you got 2, 12, and 33. Incredible. Like you can change your complete roster with those 3 picks. I mean, the Texans with DeMeco Ryans coming in there, Nick Caserio, my former GM at the Patriots, The guy knows ball. D'Amico, I used to play with D'Amico in Philadelphia. He loves linebackers. He loves linemen. I think he takes Will Anderson. I think he still gets a quarterback to put in over Davis Allen.
I think both teams are going to have a great draft, just given the volume, of course, 12 picks. But I do think the Texans have that luxury of 2 and 12 and perhaps a quarterback at either spot. So we'll see what happens there in the NFL draft. Guys, just a few minutes left. We have a game to pick. Suns, Nuggets in Denver. The line, -2.5. Brandon, the floor is yours, my friend. What do you think? What do we do?
I love Denver in game 1. I'll say it again. As depleted as the Clippers were without George, without Kawhi, they took him to the hill. They were down 18 after 3 quarters in game 5 and came back and got it to within 1 with a chance to take the lead. There was no quitting the Clippers. The Suns have no bench, none. And in game 1 with Denver at home and that altitude, I'm all over the Nuggets -2.5. Kind
of a fishy line, Clay. What do you think?
I'm taking the Suns all the way to the bank. The Timberwolves, it wasn't as much of a blowout as people saw in Denver. The Timberwolves actually played them pretty well. I'm not saying the Timberwolves. You got Karl Anthony Towns thinking he's a 3-point shooter out there. This guy's 6'10". So I'm thinking the Suns. You kidding me? Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Chris Paul. What are you doing over there, B-Lane? I don't even think this is going to be close. The Joker, Jamal Murray, okay, these guys are great players. The Suns, the series is probably only going 5 games. The Suns are going to win this one easily.
Oh my God.
Clay is the lead dog in the picks right now, but I'm going with the guy who has a movie made about him for gambling, and that's Brandon Lang. I'm going with the -2.5 in this one. I mean, I think the Nuggets win by 10.
Smart man.
Something along those lines. So I'm with you,
Kevin Durant and Devin Booker shooting 60% from the field, over 45% from the 3-point line, and you add Kevin Durant in there. DeAndre Ayton, come on. This is an all-star team playing against normal teams. We'll see. This one, I'm picking up another game on my man B Lang. Let's go.
This sounds like you talking about the Lakers, Clay, and they just lost to the Grizzlies. So, I mean, I don't know, my guy, but you are in the lead. So I'll give you that one. Folks, this has been Believe Me right here on Stadium TV. Always a blast with you two, Brandon Lang, BrandonLang.com, and Clay Harbor, former NFL tight end. Enjoy draft weekend. I am Cam Rogers, and we will see you next week.